Former General Nathan Bedford Forrest of the Confederate Cavalry nodded to the comrade who refilled his coffee mug. So he wouldn't swallow his thick mustache as he sipped, Bedford inserted the hair into the mug's specially built inside pocket.
"Wonderful," he said a moment later. "Simply wonderful."
The other former general, a heavily bearded man named Jack Gordon, replied,
"It's good coffee, but I wouldn't go that far."
Alice's nervous titter came out too high-pitched. Gordon gave her an odd look.
"I meant this," Bedford said, gesturing to the church. "The depth of Colonel Norwick's ingenuity rivals that of his societal dedication."
"Ah?" Gordon raised an eyebrow, a magnificent effect over the battle scar on his left cheek.
"Do I apprehend a poet emerging from the forest?"
The men's laughter made her cringe.
"And what say you, Mrs. Norwick?" Gordon said.
You don't want to know what I think, she thought, but pretended to be enraptured with the sight of the widow Libby Hughes's 2-foot-tall cross centered on the altar table. Although now adorned with orange blossoms, it was still a knife that Thorne had driven into her, an affront. "My husband has indeed committed a dramatic act." Appearing pleased, the men sipped their coffee. The coffee made her think of, yes, a kettle. She was a human tea kettle, gathering steam and pressure from being in this hellish place, its very air heating her until she exploded. She felt a mad impulse to grab an ear of each general. Then, with her palms as kettle spouts, she would release that steam. As with the Reverend Forney, the general's brains would heat and burst. She could do it. The angel's wings gave her that power, just like Mama had blackened the roses, and Alice bit her lip. If she didn't leave at once, she'd lose control. Her decision to come here to confront whatever fate Jesus had planned for her had been stupid. "I must leave for a moment. Have to find what's keeping Thorne." Choked, she turned to push her way through the crowd. The men would be surprised at her strength. Their thoughts blew into the angel's wings cage. Ghouls, titans, wizards.
"No need to run off," Bedford said. "The colonel just entered. He appears a bit agitated."
She looked to see Thorne standing at the altar, wringing his hands, an odd mannerism for him.
"Attention, please."
Being well-disciplined soldiers, the men hushed at once.
We've had a slight problem with our priest for tonight's ceremony."
Deadly silence. Such a comment might have meant nothing to the average farmer, but these were former military men. When a colonel reported a slight problem, it had heralded something quite serious. She hadn't been so isolated during the war not to realize that. And the psychic steam kettle inside her picked that very moment to burst.